One of the things that I really excelled in high school was English and writing. I was always told by many of my teachers that I was a very strong writer, and truthfully, I loved it. Actually, when I decided to come to Michigan State, I had initially chosen to major in journalism, but that changed later on, anyways. But I was always one of those kids at approaching graduation that pretended to be way more excited to graduate than I really was. Um, I think it was mostly just because I was really scared. I was scared of all of the rules changing. Um, I had heard from a couple of my friends that college English and writing was much different from high school, and that made me very nervous. And school has always been really important to me, and so of course I was worrying about getting a 4.0 and just completely. I just thought I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've learned everything a certain way. Um, I was a good writer in high school. I didn't particularly like how we wrote in high school. All of my teachers taught me um, to write in a specific way. There was always opening paragraph. You had to have a thesis. A thesis was the most important thing in high school. And as we got to college, my first day of class, the first discussion we had was talking about how you really didn't need or shouldn't have a thesis in your writing. And I was kind of mad at first because that's everything I'd been taught and that's the only way I really knew how to do my writing. But it actually turned out to be really helpful, and not having a thesis allowed my actual voice and opinions and just my emotion and voice to come out in my writing. And I really like that because writing is supposed to be your own, whether it's supposed to be an informative narrative or a journal or you're writing a book or anything like that. Your voice should come out in some way. Otherwise, it could be anybody else's paper. So that was one of the really important things that I learned, is that you need to let your voice come out and you don't necessarily always need a thesis. In WRA 140, Women in America, another thing that we learned right off the bat was about swap and raids. And at first, I was really annoyed at the idea. I was sick of talking about it, but I think I just kind of like shut it out because it was just one of those stupid techniques that everyone was supposed to learn. But one day I actually tuned in more than the other days, and I realized that it really is quite helpful. I mean, I use swap and raids in almost everything I do now, even papers outside of class and setting up any project I do. It just really helps you to get the main idea out, and it helps you to see what you want to talk about. It really gives you an idea about what you want to base whatever you're doing on. And I think that's really helpful, and I'm very thankful for that, and I'm going to continue to keep using that throughout my college career. Another technique I learned in WRA 140 was fast writing, which I'm sure I probably did in like elementary school, and if I had suggested it to one of my high school teachers, they probably would have thought it was just silly and pointless because it wasn't going to really get your main ideas out. But through fast writing, it just like pours every idea you have in your mind out onto paper, and it's really helped me get my paper started in college. And so I am really thankful for that, and I find it very helpful. And there's just so many things that I'm learning this year as a freshman at Michigan State in WRA 140, and I'm going to continue to keep using them throughout my college career the rest of my life.